ubyemere cyangwa we kubyemera,
whether you accept it or not.
mama wanjye abi wanjye,
My mother lives in my home.
ariko biramutse bibaye ngombwa
But if it was necessary
katumvikana n'umugore wanjye,
that she doesn't agree with my wife,
namusubiza iwacu mu cyaro. Ngomba kumenya uko umubiri wanjye ukora,
I have to know how my body works,
nkamenya n'uko umugore ukora,
and I know how the body of a woman works,
kugira ngo dushobore kubihuza byombi binezeze. Kuko nababwiraga ngo bitagenda neza muri sex,
as I told you, things were not right in sex.
iyo bigeze ku mutungo ho ni bibi kurushaho. Hari ikintu kimbabaza kubona ibintu Imana yaduhaye ngo bitunezeze ari byo bidusenyera. Kandi reka mbwira abagabo,
And let me tell you, men,
ariko n'abagore musigaye mubikora,
but even women do that.
abagabo bamwe umuryango mugari ntabwo wemerewe guhagarara hagati y'umugabo n'umugore.
An extended family is not supposed to stand in the midst of a woman and a husband.
Mama wawe ntabwo yemerewe guhagarara hagati yawe n'umugore cyangwa n'umugabo.
Your husband, your mother is not supposed to be in between you and your spouse.
Maze kubona ingo aho ba mama b'abagore
I've seen marriages where the mother of a woman
cyangwa ba mama b'abagabo
or the mothers of a husband.
bahindutse. Umugore wanjye yitwa Kayitesi Penina.
My wife is called Kaitesi Penny.
18 z'ukwa munani muri 90
18th in August in 1990.
yashyizemo iyi mpeta.
She put this ring on me.
Kuva uwo munsi
From that day,
njyewe rero ndi ntagondwa. Ariko reka nkubwire,
but let me tell you,
intambwe ya mbere kugira ngo wubake paradizo
the first step to building your own paradise
no kubanza ugasubira inyuma ukemera ko ibyo wubatse atari paradizo. Umugore wanjye tumaranye imyaka 33.
I've been married for 33 years.
Ni umurokore pe.
She's really a Christian.
Ni umurokore pe.
She's a true Christian.
Kandi nanjye ndi umurokore.
And I am a true Christian too.
Ariko buri munsi ndacyabona hari amafuti abapastori tujya twigira ngo that's not made in heaven. Twigeze gutaha ubukwe bw'abadokiteri babiri.
We once went to a wedding of 2 doctors.
B'abaganga.
They were medical doctors.
Umugabo n'umuganga n'umugore n'umuganga bombi n'abadokiteri.
The woman is a doctor, the man is a doctor, they are both doctors.
Pastor aratangira arigisha.
And the pastor started preaching.
Mwumva rero madamu.
Listen, wife.
Ngo iyo uri ku bitaro.
When you're at the hospital,
ngo uri dogiteri.
you are a doctor.
Ngo ariko nugera mu rugo.
But when you reach at home,
ugomba kumenya kuri madamu.
know that you're a wife.
Ngo kamenya icyayi cy'umugabo.
Know the tea of your husband.
Nya kuyigisha iyo najyanye na madamu.
I fear teaching it when I'm with my wife.
Kuko ashobora kungira nk'uko umupastor umwe umugore yamugize.
Because she might be like one woman who did something to the pastor.
Baragiye umugore yicara hariya, mbese urabizi ba pastor abagore bacuraza bakicara imbere.
So you know, pastors, our wives come and sit at the front.
Noneho rero umugore yicara hariya, umugore ashobora kukwica ataguteye icyuma.
A woman might kill you without stamping you.
Ati umugore wanjye.
Say, my wife.
Ati ntavuga.
She doesn't speak.
Ati suko atazi kuvuga.
Not because she can't speak.
Ati yashaka kumbabaza. Ariko ubundi.
Normally,
mu rugo.
in a marriage,
umugabo n'umugore.
a woman and a man,
baremewe kunezezanya.
they are created to please each other.
Kuri nivo enye.
On 4 levels.
Abagabo rero icyo kiratugora.
So men, that is hard for us.
Kuko iyo umugabo afite ibimubabaje.
Because a man, when he has things that are hurting him,
ashyira mu mutima.
he puts it in his heart.
Akaryama.
And he sleeps.
Ariko kurimo gusuhuza umutima.
Why are you sighing?
Hari umwana umwe wacu yigeze kutubaza ngo papa na mama hari ikintu dushaka kubaza. Iriwe my interpreter. Mushobora kwicara.
You can be seated.
Inyigisho yacu yo kwiyubakira urugo rwawe rukaba paradizo.
We are going to continue our teaching of building a marriage to be paradise.
Kuko buri ikibazo gikomeye cyane mu kubaka ingo.
Because the biggest problem in building a marriage,
abantu bashaka gukora ibintu byitwa iy'ubusamo, shortcuts.
People want to make shortcuts.
Nta shortcut igibaho y'umunezero.
There is no shortcut to joy.
Umunezero usaba ibintu bibiri.
Joy requests you 2 things.
Icya mbere usaba yuko ubanza ukicomeka mu isoko y'umunezero.
First of all, you have to link yourself to the source of joy.
Imana iravuga ngo nta mahoro y'umunyabyaha ni kuwiteka avuga.
God says there is no peace to a sinner, and that is what the Lord says.
Ubishaka utabishaka.
Whether you want it or not.
Imana iravuga ngo
God says
umunyabyaha niyo wamushyira mu isi y'abakiranutsi.
even if you put a sinner in the world of the righteous,
wazahakorera ibyo gukiranirwa.
for them they'll continue to be unrighteous.
Umugabo udafite Yesu.
A man without Jesus.
Umugore udafite Yesu.
A woman without Jesus.
ntashobora kubaka paradizo.
They cannot build paradise.
So ni uvuga ngo twiyubakire paradizo.
So when we say build paradise,
twiyubakire urugo rube paradizo.
when we say we build our marriages to be paradise,
urugo rutarimo Imana ntirushobora kuba paradizo niyo warubyinirira.
a marriage without God cannot be paradise no matter how much you might entertain it.
Ubishaka utabishaka nta shortcut yabyo.
Whether you want it or not, there is no shortcut to that.
Ariko tubanze tubyumve kimwe.
But let's first agree on that.
Ntabwo nigeze mvuga yuko urugo rutarimo Imana rudashobora kuba rwiza.
I didn't say that a home without God cannot be good.
Rushobora kuba rwiza mu buryo bw'abantu.
It might be good in the way of people.
Mbibere uko bigenda.
Should I show you how it goes?
Nshobora kuvunika.
I might fracture my bone.
Nkajya ngenda ncumbagira.
And I go limping.
Nkacumbagira.
I limp.
Kuba ncumbagira ntibibuza ko ngenda.
Me limping doesn't mean I'm not walking.
Ingo nyinshi ziragenda ariko zicumbagira.
Many homes are moving forward by their limping.
Kandi iyo ncumbagiye igihe kirekire.
And when I limp for so long,
ngeraho nkabimenyera.
I reach a point I get used.
Ku buryo bitambuza kugenda.
And it doesn't prevent me from moving.
Ariko still ndacumbagira.
But I'm still limping.
Kuko ingo nyinshi ziracumbagira.
Because many marriages are limping.
Ariko umugore akageraho akabimenyera.
And the wife gets used.
Cyangwa umugabo akabimenyera.
Or the husband gets used.
Akaba azi ko iyo aturutse ibumoso bw'umugabo.
And they know when they come from the left side of the husband.
Habihwa.
There is a thorn.
Riramujomba.
It pierces them.
Akamenya kujya aturuka iburyo.
Now they know they should come from the right side.
Ariko ukabuze ngo a day or another uzaturuka ibumoso.
But you know that any day you're going to come from the left side.
Ihwari kujombe.
And the thorn will pierce you.
Ugacumbagira.
And you limp.
Ukamenya ngo uyu mugabo mutwarira iburyo.
You know that this man, I take him on the right side.
Nyamara hari igihe nakeneye kumuturuka ibumoso.
But there are times I want to come from the left side.
Ariko ntawe ujya muturuka ibumoso kuko arahanda.
No one comes from his left side because it is rough.
Uyu mugore aseka ku manywa.
This woman laughs during day.
Ariko nimugoroba akanwa gacana umuriro.
But in the evening her mouth spits fire.
Mugacumbagira.
And you limp together.
Mukakomeza mukagenda.
You continue to move.
Ndetse rimwe na rimwe waba umaze kubimenyera.
And sometimes when you are used to it,
ukajya ubeshya.
you even lie.
Ngo ubwo mureba rero jewe.
As you see me.
Ngo n'uyu mugore wanjye.
And my wife.
Ngo tumaranye imyaka 30.
We've been together for 30 years.
Ngo nta nubwo turatongana.
And we've never quarreled.
Iyo umugabo avuze gutyo.
When a man says that.
Cyangwa umugore akavuga gutyo.
And a woman says that.
Mpita nandikaho.
I write.
Cumbagira.
You're limping.
Barabimenyereye baracumbagira.
They are used, they are limping.
Kubera iki?
Why?
Jye ndi umupasitori.
I am a pastor.
Kuva nakizwa.
Ever since I got saved.
Nakijwe mfite imyaka 25.
I got saved when I was 25 years.
Mfite 65.
Now I have 65.
Sindasamba.
I haven't fornicated.
Nshobora kurahira nkavuga ngo sindaca umugore inyuma.
I can swear and say I've never cheated on my wife.
Kuva ndi umwana.
Since I was young.
Siniyizi ndwara.
I don't see myself fighting.
Nkiri n'umupagani sinigeze ndwara.
Even when I was still a pagan, I never fought.
Sindakubita umugore.
I've never beaten my wife.
Ariko sinshobora kubeshya.
But I can't lie.
Nguvuge ngo ubwo mureba rero.
Say as you see me.
Ngo maranye imyaka 33 n'umugore.
I've been married for 33 years.
Ngo nta nubwo turatongana.
And we've never quarreled.
Twaratonganye.
We quarreled.
Si kenshi.
Not many times.
Ariko byarabaye.
But it happened.
Ariko mwebwe mudabona muri intungane ntabwo mwatongana.
But for you, I see you're right, you don't quarrel.
Gusa abantu bo mu itorero ry'umwuka nka Yusisi mwatongana.
People, Church of the Spirit, would you quarrel?
Ibyo ni bya Poroso nkanjye.
Those are for Anglicans like
Reka mwebwe kwese mwebwe byaba.
Can that happen?
Ariko reka nkubwire.
But let me tell you,
Intambwe ya mbere kugira ngo wubake paradizo.
the first step to building your own paradise,
No kubanza ugasubira inyuma ukemera ko ibyo wubatse atari paradizo.
you first have to know that what you've built on is not paradise.
Umugore wanjye tumaranye imyaka 33.
I've been married for 33 years.
Ni umurokore pe.
She's really a Christian.
Ni umurokore pe.
She's a true Christian.
Kandi nanjye ndi umurokore.
And I am a true Christian too.
Ariko buri munsi ndacyabona ibyo ngomba gutunganya ngo urugo rwanjye rurusheho kuba rwiza.
But I still see everything every day to see what I have to make right in my
Kuko iyo
marriage.
ubana na Yesu
Because when you live with Jesus,
arakubwira ngo ugomba kugenda uva mu bwiza ujya mu bubi.
He tells you you should go from glory to glory.
Ikindi cya kabiri,
The second thing,
urugo turaza kubibona
we're going to see that marriage
ni ruhora rwimura boundaries, rwimura imipaka.
it is always changing different boundaries.
Narongoreye umugore wanjye ndi umusore ari inkumi.
I married my wife when I was young and she was a young woman.
Nyuma y'amezi make yari atwite,
After a few months she was pregnant.
byose byahindutse.
Everything had changed.
Aciragura mu gitondo,
She was spitting in the morning,
ataha yabyimbye ibirenge,
coming home when the legs are swollen,
hanyuma arabyaye,
and then she delivered.
agiye mu babebe.
She went into the baby.
Byabyaye najyaga nza nkasanga ntibi. Ngo ntabwo akintegurira icyayi.
The men who say she no longer prepares tea for me.
Ngo abayirimo kwita ku bana be.
She's caring about the children.
Harabo yazanye.
Did she come with them?
Rero ugasanga umuntu w'umugabo nkanjye,
You find a man like me,
ngo umusaza ufite imvi nkanjye,
old with gray hairs as me.
yatangiye kugirira amashyari abana yabyaye b'impinja.
They are now jealous of the young children
Ngo
they
ndabona
had.
batakinyitaho.
They no longer care about me.
Rero ugasanga n'abapastori turi hano turabyigisha.
Even pastors are here teaching that.
Hari amafuti abapastori tujya twigira ngo that's not made in heaven.
There are mistakes preachers preach and I say that is not made in heaven.
Twigeze gutaha ubukwe bw'abadokiteri babiri
We once went to a wedding of two doctors.
b'abaganga.
They were medical doctors.
Umugabo ni umuganga n'umugore ni umuganga, bombi ni abadokiteri.
The woman is a doctor, the man is a doctor. They are both doctors.
Pastor aratangira arigisha.
And the pastor started preaching.
Ngumva rero madamu,
Listen, wife.
ngo iyo uri ku bitaro,
When you're at the hospital,
ngo uri dogiteri,
you are a doctor.
ngo ariko nugera mu rugo
But when you reach at home,
ugomba kumenya kuri madamu,
know that you're a wife.
ngo ukamenya icyayi cy'umugabo.
Know the tea of your husband.
Ase uyu muntu
This person,
yari yamenye uko abadokiteri babaho.
does he know how doctors live?
Uyu mugore ejo azaba ari dokita,
This woman is going to be a doctor tomorrow.
yatwite,
She will be pregnant.
yiriwe agenda mu barwayi,
She spent a whole day walking among the sick people.
atahe nimugoroba,
And she will go home in the evening.
yikoreye inda,
She's carrying a pregnancy.
ibirenge byabyimbye.
The feet are swollen.
Ngo ugomba kugera mu rugo
You have to reach home.
ukamenya ko ugomba kuzana icyayi cy'umugabo.
Know that you have to bring your husband's tea.
None se
And I say,
ese yabwiye umugabo nawe akajya amuzanira icyayi ko nawe ashobora kukizana.
how about a man bringing tea? For he can also do that.
Muribuka ejo turimo kureba isura y'umugabo
Remember yesterday when we were looking at the image of a
according
man,
to Jesus.
according to Jesus.
Akenshi twigisha inyigisho z'umuco tukazitiranya n'iza Bibiliya.
Many times we teach culture and we mistake it for the Bible.
Hello.
No.
Ndabizi mushobora kundakarira.
I know you can be angry with me.
Ntabwo nigeze ntumwa kwigisha umuco nyarwanda, natumwe kwigisha Bibiliya.
But I wasn't sent to teach the random culture. I was sent to teach the Bible.
Kuko ufite hano n'umugore nta nubwo ushobora gutekereza mvuge ngo uyu mugore arananiwe.
You can't even think that the wife is tired.
Yiriwe agenda mu bitaro.
She spent a whole day walking among the sick.
Atwaye inda ingana n'akagunguru.
She's carrying a pregnancy that is heavy.
atashye mu rugo ibirenge byabyimbye bingana no
she's home, the legs are swollen.
ngo ariko agomba kubona extra strength akajya gushaka icyayi cy'umugabo ngo kugira ngo umugabo abe king of the home.
But she has to get extra strength to go and get the tea of her husband for him to feel like a king of her home.
Turaza kubireba uyu munsi.
We're going to see that today.
Hari n'igihe uzataha usanga umugore yagiye ku kazi ko muri shift.
There are times you go home and you find your wife at work because you're now in shift.
Turi muri century itandukanye niyo ba mama na badata babagamo.
We are in a century that is different from what our mothers and fathers lived in.
Edeni nuyubaka i Kigali.
If you build Eden in Kigali
mu bihumbi 2023
in 2023,
ntuzategereze ko izasa na Edeni ya papa wawe mu 1990.
don't wait for it to be Eden of your father that was in 1990s.
Hari ibintu bimwe tugomba kwiga.
There are things we have to learn.
Ndabeshya.
My life.
The sooner uzabyumva
The sooner you hear that,
urugo rwawe nirwo ruzaba Edeni, paradiso.
that's when your marriage will be paradise.
Ejo twarebye fondation.
Yesterday we looked at the foundation.
Uyu munsi ndagira ngo twihute dushyireho inkingi.
Today I want us to go forward and put on the pillars.
Inkingi z'ibanze nshaka ko dushyiraho.
The first pillars that I want us to put there.
Mugaruke aha ni mu itangiriro.
Come back to Genesis.
By the way, mwari muzi ko buriya Bibiliya ushaka kumenya uko paradiso isa.
But do you know, if you want to know how paradise looks like?
Siko title nahoze mbona hariya ivuga ngo twiyubakira urugo rwawe ruhinduke paradiso.
Make your marriage paradise.
Nushaka kumenya uko paradiso isa.
If you want to know how paradise looks like,
ujye usoma itangiriro igice cya mbere n'icya kabiri.
read Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Cyangwa se usome ibyahishuwe
Or read Revelation
igice cya 21 na 22.
chapter 21 and chapter 22.
Aho niho tubona paradiso.
That's where we see paradise.
So paradiso,
So paradise,
reka turebe mu gice cy'ibyahishuwe.
let's go to Revelation.
Hanyuma tugaruke mu itangiriro.
And then we'll come back to Genesis. 21, chapter 21.
aravuga ngo mbona ijuru rishya
And I saw a new heaven
n'isi nshya
and a new earth.
kuko ijuru rya mbere n'isi ya mbere byari byashize n'inyanja yari itakiriho.
For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Isi ya mbere
The first earth
n'ijuru rya mbere
and the first heaven
bitakiriho.
were passed away.
Urugo nari imenyereye
The marriage I was used to
rutakiriho,
was there no more,
rwasimbuwe
replaced
n'urugo rushya.
by a new marriage.
Iyo niyo mitekerereze.
That is the mindset.
Ntushobora kuguma mu byo wahozemo
No, you can't stay in what you've been in
ngo bihinduke paradiso.
and then that becomes paradise.
Ntushobora gukora ibyo wakoraga ejo
You can't continue to do what you did yesterday
ngo uvanemo umusaruro utandukanye n'uwo wakuragamo.
and get a different harvest from what you are getting out.
Niwubaka urugo rwawe nk'uko warwubakaga umwaka ushize,
If you build your marriage like you built it last year,
uzavanamo umunezero ungana n'uwo wakuragamo.
you get the same joy that you took out last year.
Uzavanamo ubukire bungana n'ubwo wakuragamo.
You get out the same riches that you took out yesterday.
Kuko iyo ukoze ibintu nk'uko wamye ubikora,
Because when you continue to do things the way you are doing them,
usarura ibyo wamye usarura.
you harvest the exact same things that you've been harvesting.
Niyo mpamvu iteka ryose Imana ivuga ngo
And that is why always God says,
dore byose ndabihindura bishya.
I'm going to make everything new.
Ndabihindura bishya.
I'll make everything new.
Mbona isi nshya n'ijuru rishya.
I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
Umurongo wa 3.
Now verse 3.
Numva ijwi rirenga rivugiye kuri ya ntebe rivuga ati dore ihema ry'Imana riri hamwe n'abantu kandi izaturana nabo bazaba abantu bayo kandi Imana ubwayo izabana nabo ibimana yabo.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Iyi niyo secret ya paradise.
This is the secret ibanga of paradise.
ijwi rirenga rivugira kuri ya ntebe iti ihema ry'Imana riri hamwe n'abantu izaturana nabo bazaba abantu bayo Imana ubwayo izabana nabo ibimana yabo.
I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. He will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself shall be with them.
Urugo rurimo Imana nirwo ruba paradizo ntoya.
A marriage with God becomes paradise.
Small paradise.
Small paradise.
Umurongo wa 4.
Verse 4.
Izahanagura amarira yose ku maso yabo kandi urupfu ntiruzabaho kundi kandi umuborogo cyangwa gutaka cyangwa kuribwa ntibizabaho kundi kuko ibya mbere bishize.
And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Okay, shyiramo aya magambo uvuge ngo mu rugo rwanjye.
Say, in my marriage,
Imana niza,
when God comes,
izahanagura amarira yose.
he will wipe away every tear.
Umuborogo cyangwa gutaka no kuribwa ntibizabaho kundi.
Every cry or pain will not happen there anymore.
Hanyuma secret kavuga ngo umurongo wa 5.
Verse 5
Iyicara
says,
kuri ya ntebe iravuga iti dore byose ndabihindura bishya.
He who sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new.
Witeguye guhindura byose bishya?
Are you ready to change everything new?
Kuko abantu benshi bashaka kubona ibintu bishya bo batatemeye guhinduka bashya.
Many people want to see new things, but they're not ready to make things that are new.
Ntabwo bizakunda.
It will not be possible.
So twabigeraho dute rero?
So how can we achieve that?
Mwitegereze hano.
Now see closely
Musubire no mu isezerano rya kera.
and go back to the Old Testament.
Ibintu byose Imana ibikora ivuga.
God does everything while speaking.
Pila ya mbere yo guhindura ibintu bishya.
The first pillar of making things new,
Communication.
your communication.
Buriya abantu benshi ntabwo bazi ko igituma ingo nyinshi ziba mbi.
Many people don't know that what makes marriages bad.
They don't talk.
Ntabwo baganira.
Ntibavugana.
They don't speak to each other.
Niyo baganiriye
And when they talk,
bavuga ibidafite umumaro.
they say useless things.
Iyo murebye filime hamwe
When you watch a movie together,
ntacyo burimo kubaka.
you're not building anything.
Iyo musohokanye mukajya muri restaurant
When you go out in a restaurant
mukarya ifi
and you eat fish,
ntacyo muba mwubaka na gito.
you're not building anything at all.
Ko n'ubundi mu rugo iwanyu murarya.
Because even at home you eat too.
Communication yubaka
Communication that builds you up
itangira kubaho
starts to happen
iyo muvuze ibintu bishya bikabaho.
when you say and new things happen.
Hello.
No.
Iyo mwicaye mukavuga
When you sit and talk,
and something new happens.
ikintu gishya kikabaho.
Ubwo communication iba yatangiye kubaka.
Now communication is building something.
Bishoboka bite rero?
So how is it possible?
Icyambere kugira ngo umugabo n'umugore bazagire communication yubaka.
First of all, for a man and a woman to have a building communication.
Communication ihindura ubuzima.
Communication that changes lives.
Number 1.
Chambere.
Ugomba kuvuga ibintu bivuye ku mutima.
You have to say things from your heart.
Communication from the heart.
You communicate from the heart.
Personal communication.
Kuganira,
Ibintu bibafataho.
things that touch you.
Abantu benshi bahunga ibibari ku mutima.
Many people flee from what is in their heart.
Abagore benshi ntibatinyuka kubwira abagabo ibibari ku mutima.
Many women cannot dare to tell their husbands what is in their heart.
N'abagabo benshi ntibatinyuka kubwira abagore ibibari ku mutima.
And many men cannot tell their wives what is in their heart.
Niyo mpamvu nta kintu gishya kibayo.
And that is why there is no new thing.
Mwiteguye kubwirana ibiri ku mutima.
Are you ready to tell each other what is in your heart?
Ashwe. Mpise nisubiza.
I've answered myself.
Kuko ndabizi neza yuko mwicara hano mukibeshya. Hari umuntu twavuze tuganira kare.
There's someone I was talking to earlier.
Ndamubwira kuri twari kuri telefone.
We were on phone.
Ibi ndimo kubigisha.
These things I'm teaching you.
Ndamubwira nega nimukomeza gukora ibyo mwamye mukora.
Said if you continue doing things that you've been doing,
muzavanamo ibyo mwamye mukuramo.
you will get out what you've been getting out.
Ibintu bitangira guhinduka iyo mwemeje guhinduka.
Things change when you decide to change.
ibintu bitangira guhinduka iyo mwemeye kuvugana ibintu.
Things change when you accept to talk to each other what needs to change.
Personal. Kubwirana ibiri ku mutima.
What is in your heart?
Icya kabiri.
The second thing.
Iyo mutangiye kuvugana.
When you start to communicate.
Communication igomba kubahana.
Communication has to be respectful.
Niba umugabo atangiye kukubwira ikintu mwemeranyije ko mugiye guhindura ibintu bishya.
If your husband is talking to you and you've agreed you're going to change things.
Ambara agapfukamunwa.
Put on a mask.
Utega amatwi.
Zip it and listen.
Avuge ucecetse.
Let him talk when you're quiet.
N'umugore bibuko.
And the wife should be the same.
Avuge ucecetse.
Let her talk when you're quiet.
Umutima banza usuke hanze.
Let her pour her heart.
Ube witeguye kumutega amatwi.
And you're ready to listen to her.
Imana yaturemanye umuntu umwe.
God created us with one mouth
n'amatwi abiri.
And 2 ears.
Kugira ngo tujye twumva cyane.
For us to listen more.
Ariko tuvuge buhoro.
But talk less.
Ariko abenshi.
But many people.
Tubana nkaho yaturemye dufite iminwa ibiri n'ugutwi kumwe.
We live as if he gave us 2 mouths with 1 ear.
Umuntu atangira kuvuga.
Someone starts speaking.
Ngo kiye rwose ngo mbabarira ngo niba uzanye ibyo by'amahane ngo mbaye ngiye.
If you're bringing quarrels, I'm going.
Umuntu agiye kukubwira ibimuri ku mutima.
Someone is going to tell you what is in their heart.
Ariko ntibiteguye gutega amatwi.
But you're not ready to listen.
Nta paradizo uzubaka.
You will not build any paradise.
Respectful.
Be respectful.
Iyo ndimo kuvuga ceceka untega amatwi.
When I'm talking, keep quiet and listen to me.
Nindangiza kuvuga.
After talking.
Dore ikibazo kibamo.
Now this is the problem.
Muri mwareba sindabona aho abantu barwana ariko narabonye nari imbeshye. Nabonye abasirikare barwana muri 1994 twari hano.
I saw soldiers
ariko
fighting.
reka nkoreshe filime kuko nizo benshi babona.
But let me use movies because many watch those.
Hari igihe ubona abantu barimo kurwana muri filime.
There are times you see people fighting in a movie.
Barwanisha imbunda.
Fighting with a gun.
Umugabo nakurwana agakusha.
The one who is fighting, they cover themselves.
Agatekinga cover.
They take cover. They shoot and shoot and shoot.
Wa wundi uri hirya nawe.
The other one next.
Ubwo yafashe cover.
They are also taking cover.
Yakumva wa wundi arekeye aho nawe agasohokamo.
When one stops, they also come out and also start shooting.
Agasubira inyuma.
And they go back.
Akongera agacharging.
And they recharge.
Abantu benshi communication yabo nuko imeze.
So many people, their communication is like that.
Uvuga arimo gucharginga.
You speak when they are charging.
Aho kugira ngo yicare yumve ibyo urimo kumubwira.
Instead of sitting and they listen to what you're telling them.
Ahubwo arimo arakusanya ibindi ari bukubwire atumvise ibyo wavuze.
But they are charging what they're going to answer back without listening first.
Nuko mutaricarana n'abagabo n'abagore igihe kirekire. Jewe nibyo nirirwamo.
You haven't sat with men and women for long. That's what I spend days in.
Nkabwira umugabo ni ececeka tuzaho gake.
I tell a husband, keep quiet a little.
Umugore amara kuvuga nti nkamubwira nti nsubira mu byo akubwiye.
And after the wife has spoken,
ngo ya pastor ngo ngumva ngo erega nawe uri muramushyigikira mu mafuti.
You're supporting her in her mistakes.
Ntabwo ntabwo umugore ntabwo ari uwanjye.
So this woman is not my wife.
Kandi mwaje hano ngo mbafashe.
And you came for me to help you.
Communication ibamo respectfulness. Kumenya guceceka kumva.
So you have to keep quiet and listen.
Umuntu akakubwira warangiza ugasubira mu byo yakubwiye.
Someone tells you and you repeat what they've said.
Urashaka kuvuga yuko.
So you want to say.
Iyo ntashye ninjoro.
When I come home at night.
Nkaza nkomanga saa 7 y'ijoro.
And I come knocking at 1 a.m.
Wasinziriye.
And you're asleep.
Bikubangamira.
You're not comfortable.
Ati.
And she says yes.
Urashaka kuvuga ko iyo nje nijoro.
So you mean when I come at night.
Nanyoye inzoga.
And I'm drunk.
Munukira.
I smell for you.
Tihi.
And you say yes.
Urashaka kuvuga yuko.
So you want to say.
Iyo nje nijoro.
When I come home at night.
Nkagukangura ngo ujye gushyushya ibiryo.
And I wake you up to go and warm the food.
Bikubangamira.
You're not comfortable with that.
You
say yes.
Akenshi sinako bigenda.
Many times it doesn't happen.
Iyo atangiye kubisubiramo wanda batuya nyine urabizi uiteka ryose uza mu gicuku ukaza nkangura kubera ko yatangiye gusuka donc ubwo ari kungingo yatangiye gusuka ibimurimo.
So they are pouring out what is in them.
akenshi rero iyo hatari undi muntu ngo bafashe,
So when there is no mediator somewhere there to help them,
umuhagarika ataranakubwira icyo ashaka kukubwira.
you stop them before they even tell you what they wanted to tell you.
Iyo nta communication ivamo.
And there is no communication in that.
Communication yubaka
Communication that builds you
isaba igihe,
requests time,
isaba gutekereza,
requests you to think,
isaba gufunga umunwa ugatega amatwi,
requests you to close your mouth and listen,
isaba kumvisha undi ko wamwumvise,
requests you to convince someone that you've heard them.
ibyo si bibiri.
Isn't that two?
Icya gatatu,
Third,
communication yubaka
communication that is building you.
igomba gutinyuka kubwirana byose, honest and transparent. Ni ukwambara ubusa.
You have to be honest and transparent.
Baratubwira ngo Adamu na Eva babanaga muri Edeni ngo bambaye ubusa.
They tell us Adam and Eve were in Eden naked.
Nta guhishahisha.
They didn't hide.
Hello.
No.
Ko ndabona imyigisho igomba kubibishye.
But
Ndareba ukuntu mumeze nk'abana abantu barimo urumva ndimo kubabihiriza.
I think these people are not enjoying the teaching.
Ega buri ikica abakristo murakizi.
No one is killing Christians.
Twabamenyereje amasukari.
You are used to sweet things.
Twabwira utuntu twa sweet.
We tell you things that are sweet.
Ariko buryo ubuzima butangira gukomera.
But life becomes harder.
Uzareba ibintu bitanga imbaraga byose.
See all things that bring in energy and strength.
Bisaba uburisho.
You have to have something to eat with them.
Uzarya imyumbati udafite uburisho
Now eat cassava without anything to drink.
N'ibijumba udafite uburisho ntushobora kurya byinshi.
Even sweet potatoes without something to eat them with, you can't eat much.
N'akawunga katagira uburisho.
Even posho without something to eat it with.
Ibitanga imbaraga byose bisaba.
Everything that gives you strength, you have to.
Ntabwo ari udusweet.
They are not just simple sweet.
Inyigisho zikuza abakristo ntabwo ari za sweets.
Teachings that make Christians grow, they are not sweets.
So niba mugiye kwiga communication muve mu dusukari.
If you're going to learn how to communicate, get out of that.
Number 1, mwige kubwirana ibiri ku mutima kandi birasharira.
Learn to tell each other what is in your heart and it is not even sweet.
Number 2, wige guceceka kandi ntawabidutoje.
To learn to keep quiet and no one has trained you to do that.
Number 3, mwige kubwirana byose kandi twese turabitinya.
Number 3, learn to be honest and transparent and we actually feel that.
Number 4.
And number 4,
ibyo muganiriye byose bigomba kugira umwanzuro.
everything you discuss should have a conclusion.
Nkunze kubwira abantu.
I usually tell people.
Ngewe nagize umugisha cyane.
For me also blessed.
Imana yantoje ntararongora.
God trained me before I got married.
Ariko nuno munsi iyi chapitre ya communication.
But even today, this chapter of communication,
Nenya kuyigisha iyo najyanye na madamu.
I fear teaching it when I'm with my wife.
Kuko ashobora kungira nko kumupastor umwe umugore yamugize.
Because she might be like one woman who did something to the pastor.
Baragiye umugore yicara hariya mbese urabizi ba pastor abagore bacuraza bakicara imbere.
So you know pastors, our wives come and sit at the front.
Namenye ko uyu no ari umugore wa pastor nawe. Ariko bahagaze imbere arimo arasemura.
But for her she's interpreting.
Noneho rero umugore yicara hariya.
So the wife sat there.
Abaruzi burya abagabo rero tuzi no kubeshya.
So you know even men know how to lie.
Reka mbwire my dear haguruke mwanze mu murebe.
Let me tell my sweetheart to stand up and you see her.
Ruriya ni urukundo rw'ubuzima bwanjye.
That is the love of my life.
Ni inyenyeri y'imibereho yanjye.
That is the star of my life.
Ni ucanira ijoro ry'ubuzima bwanjye.
She is the light of my nights.
Mbese iyo turi imbere y'abantu,
when we are before people,
ushobora kuvuga turiya mugore vraiment,
you might say that wife really,
wantiza uriya mugabo.
I wish someone could give me that husband.
None rero umugabo aratangira avuga nyine ibintu byiza nk'ibindi mo kuvuga.
So the man said such kinds of things.
Umugore ubwo ko abivuga arabizi neza ko wabo ntabihabo.
So as he was saying that, the woman knew at their home it is not there.
Bigeze aho biramurenga ati babeshesha.
And she said you're lying. You're lying.
Reka mabwire topic ikomera cyane mu bintu byo mu rugo.
The hardest topic in a marriage,
communication,
is communication.
Muzi impamvu?
You know why?
No kwa pastor.
Even at the pastor's home,
Ntabyo batwigishije.
they didn't teach us that.
twavutse tuvuga.
We were born speaking.
Nta wigeze twigisha guceceka ngo dutege amatwi.
No one taught us to keep quiet and listen.
None rero kubera ko twebwe abapastori turi ba karimi.
So because pastors are good at speaking,
we talk.
Turavuga.
Even at home we talk.
No mu rugo turavuga.
We don't listen.
Ntago twumva dutega amatwi.
Nige wewe uvugira ibyanyu.
I'm talking about myself.
Hari inshuro nyinshi.
There are many times.
Nicara madamu yatangira kumbwira ibintu nkibuka ko nge nigisha abantu.
I see it sometimes the wife says things and remember I tell people to zip it.
Ubu rero ndimo ndiga technique.
So I'm learning a technique.
Iyo ndimo yarimo kuvuga nifata gutya.
When she's speaking I hold my mouth.
Ntawe ndimo kubwira umuntu wanjye ngo
I tell my mouth
nagushyizeho akagufuri.
I put a lock on you.
Reka ntege amatwi.
Let me listen.
Niba mbeshya umugabo wabigezeho uretse babandi bajunjama bakabyita guceceka.
Apart from those men who just keep quiet and they call it silence.
Hari abagabo bicara bakajindira ukagira ngo arimo aratega amatwi.
There are people who just keep quiet as if they're listening.
Akaba ameze gutya yaza kuranya ngo warangije.
After they say are you done?
Iyo ntabwo ari yo ntego.
That is not the intention.
Ikiganiro cyose kigomba kuba conclusive, kigomba kugira umwanzuro.
Every conversation should be conclusive.
Ariko twebwe dutangira,
But for us when we started,
byari byiza.
it was good.
Uzi impamvu byari byiza?
You know why it was good?
Twari dufite umuco jye na madamu.
We had a culture, me and the wife.
Kuwa kabiri wari umunsi we.
On Tuesday it was her day.
Twicaraga ahantu.
We could sit somewhere.
Twari dufite notebook.
We had a notebook.
We yari secretary.
For her she was a secretary.
Yewe ndi directeur.
And I was a director.
Tukicara tukaganira.
We could sit and discuss.
Tukavuga ibintu byose.
And say everything out.
Tugakora PV y'inama.
And then we make a minute of meeting.
Twazongera guhura kuwa kabiri.
Then when we meet on Tuesday,
ikaye niwe wayitwaraga mu isakoshi.
she's the one who carried the notebook in her bag.
Tukicara ahantu.
We sat somewhere.
Tugasoma PV.
And then we go back to what we wrote.
Tukareba progress tumaze gukora ku byo twavuganye.
And see the progress we've made among the things we talked
Kandi
about.
byatugiriye umumaro.
And it was important for us.
N'ubu ngubu kubera ko tumaze gukura.
So now because we are now elderly,
Ntabwo tucyandika.
we no longer write,
Ariko turavuga.
but we talk.
Hari umwana umwe wacu yigeze kutubaza ngo papa na mama hari ikintu dushaka kubaza.
There is one child who asked us, father and mother, there's something we want to ask you.
Iyo muri douche muba muvuga.
When you are in the bathroom, you're talking.
Iyo muri mu cyumba muba muvuga.
When you're in the room, you talk.
Iyo muri salo muba muvuga.
When you're in the sitting room, you're talking.
Haje ibi bitindi by'ibitelefone bisigaye byaratwiciye ibintu.
Now these phones have destroyed things.
Ariko muri no minsi kuko ngiye kujya muri retirement.
But these days, because I'm going to be retired,
Nabuze ngiye no kuritaringa telefone.
I said I'm going to retire from a phone.
Nyigenera amasaha.
I will give it time.
Nindangiza uzampamagara hagati y'isaha n'iyingiye.
Now the one who called me between this hour and that,
Iyo nimero ntishoboye kuboneka.
that number is not available.
Kuko telefone si inkoresha nijye uyikoresha.
Because the phone doesn't use me, I use it.
Abantu basigaye babona umwanya wo gucatinga n'abantu bari kure ntibabona umwanya wo kuganira nabo bari kumwe.
People have time to chat with people from far, but they don't have time to discuss with those they are with.
Hello.
Hello.
Namwe murabyibonamo. Biriya bitindi wagiye ubifunga.
That
Ku
phone
cy'umuntu uri
switches.
hanze.
Someone outside
Agomba guhabwa priority ku mugore mwashakanye cyangwa umugabo mwashakanye.
has to be prioritized on a woman you've married or any husband.
Ngo ariko ngo ngomba kureba amakuru.
Say I have to read the news.
Amakuru.
News.
Iteka ryose amakuru abavuga ibyarangije kuba.
See, news always talks about what has already happened.
Iyo uganira n'umugore wawe muvuga ibizaba.
When you talk to your wife, you talk about things to happen.
Iyo uganira n'umugabo wawe muvuga ibyenda kuba.
When you talk to your husband, you talk about things to happen.
Amakuru ni ibyahise.
The news is past.
Cyane cyane nta n'uruhare ubuyafitemo.
More especially, you have no part in that.
Ubu numenye ibirimo kubera muri Kongo bizakungura iki?
Now if you know what is happening in Congo, what will you profit? You're not even
wenda
there.
kujya kurwanayo.
You're not going to go and fight.
Nta reinforcement wenda kohereza.
You're not going to send any reinforcement.
Kireka niba ari byo ushinzwe muri leta cyakora ibyo
Unless that is what you're responsible for in the government.
kandi benshi mwicaye hano ntabyo mushinzwe muri ibyo ngibyo muba mureba.
And many people are not responsible for any of those that you're watching.
Ariko ibyo ushinzwe mu rugo rwawe nturimo kubibonera umwanya.
But what you're responsible for in your home, you don't even have time for it.
Pila ya mbere y'urugo.
The first pillar of a marriage.
Communication.
Communication.
Uzi impamvu idakunda?
You know why it doesn't work out?
Satani azimana kuturusha.
Satan knows God more than we do.
Hari umunsi Imana yamanutse ijya ku munara w'i Babeli.
There is a day God went to the
Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel.
Igice cya 11 cy'itangiriro baratubwira ngo abo bantu b'i Babeli.
And chapter 11th of that scripture says,
ngo Imana yaramanutse irabareba.
God went to those people at the tower and he looked at them.
Uyu murongo muze kwandika mu makaye yanyu cyangwa mu mutwe.
Write this verse in your books or in your mind.
Iravuga ngo aba bantu n'ubwoko bumwe.
I said these people are a one people.
Bafite ururimi rumwe.
They have one language.
N'amagambo amwe.
And they have the same words.
Ngo icyo nicyo babanje gukora.
And that is the first thing they did.
Ngo none icyo bazashaka gukora cyose.
So everything they will do,
ntabwo kizabananira.
They will not fail.
Nubona umugabo n'umugore.
If you see a husband and a wife
bafite ururimi rumwe.
Who have the same language.
N'amagambo amwe.
And they have the same words.
Bavugana bakabyumvikana.
They speak and agree.
Uzamanika amaboko.
Just surrender.
Uvuge ngo ururugo.
And say this marriage.
Uyu mugabo n'umugore.
And this husband and
icyo
wife.
bazashaka gukora cyose.
Everything they want to.
Ntabwo kizabananira.
They will not fail.
Kuko bongeye kuvumbura.
Because they now have revealed to.
Imbaraga za communication.
The power of communication.
Kuko Imana icyo yakoze ku munara w'i Babeli.
So what God did on the Tower of Babel.
Ntiyari naniwe kukubitisha inkuba.
He didn't fail to strike them with thunder.
Ntiyari naniwe kuwuteza umutingito ugahirima.
He didn't fail to cause an earthquake for it to fall down.
Yavuze ngo okay.
He said it now.
Reka mbasopanirize indimi.
Now let me make their languages different.
Umwe navuga itafari.
When someone says a brick,
undi yumva umucanga.
This one will hear sand.
Navuga amazi.
When this one says water,
undi yumva ibuye.
another one will hear stone.
Batongana.
And then they'll quarrel.
Ujye mubona mu ngo zacu ko ariko bigenda.
You see what happens in our marriages.
Umugore ashobora kuvuga ati ndashaka igikwembe.
A woman might say I want an attire.
Umugabo atari kubuza warawangiza amafaranga.
But you're always wasting money.
Umugore yigeze kumbwira.
One time my wife told me.
Yari hamwe n'umugabo.
A wife told me he was with the husband.
Aramwira ngo pastor.
I say pastor.
Uyu mugabo ntagaciramo.
This husband does not value.
Narabyaye.
I gave birth.
Numva ndashaka kurya inyama.
And I wanted to eat meat.
Ndamuhenda.
I begged him.
Wambabariye ukangurira ikiro cy'inyama.
Please buy for me 1 kilogram of meat.
Ukagiha umukozi akantekera boilo.
And give it to a maid to cook boiled for me.
Ati sukara amafaranga yari yabuze.
Not because there was no money.
Baramubwira ngo kukiteka ryose utekereza ibintu binyicira imibare.
But why do you always think of things that kill my math?
Amafaranga mfite ubu ngubu.
The money I have right now.
Ngo ndimo ndayongeranya.
I'm trying to add it up.
Ngo ndebe ko nagura ikibanza.
To see if I can buy a plot.
Ndakomeza ndabumva.
And I continue listening.
Bari bafite ikibanza.
They had a plot.
Cyegeranye n'icyabo.
That was near theirs.
Yashakaga kucyongeranya.
He wanted to increase it.
Kugira ngo kibe kinini.
For it to be bigger.
Ikiro cy'inyama.
1 kilogram of meat.
Ibihumbi 2,000.
2,000.
Umugore wabyaye.
A woman that is delivering.
Wumva ashaka kunywa gasosi.
Who wants to drink a soup.
Ikibanza.
A plot.
Bijya bibaho mu bundi buryo.
It also happens in different ways.
Ushobora kuba ashaka inkweto.
They might want shoes.
Ushobora kuba ashaka ishati.
Maybe a shirt.
Ariko kuko ntimubyumva kimwe.
But because you don't agree.
Ariko buri munsi turaza kubigeraho hari yindi principle reka nze nihute. Communication iyo igenda neza.
When communication is going well.
Koko ushobora no kuba ushaka kugura icyo kibanza.
Surely you might want to buy the plot.
Ariko gatekereza ukavuga ngo ya.
And you think and say no.
Ntabwo umugore wanjye azababara ngo nuko nshaka ikibanza.
My wife will not be hurt because I need a plot.
Gishobora kuba ari ikindi kintu.
Might be something else.
So icya kabiri reka twihute.
So the second,
muri pillars dufite.
in the pillars that we have.
Hahandi mu itangiriro.
In Genesis,
Imana imaze kurema umugabo n'umugore.
after God created a man and
Murabibona ko ibintu byose Imana yaremye yabiremaga ivuga.
you see, everything God created was
Ururimi
creating them
rwacu
speaking.
rurarema.
Our language creates.
Urugo rwiza ruremeshwa communication.
Our good marriage is created by communication.
Mugaruke handi mu gice cya mbere.
Now return to the first chapter.
Tugeze ku murongo wa 28.
We are now on the 28th verse.
Imana ibaha umugisha.
And God blessed them.
Imana irababwira iti,
And God said unto them,
mwororoke mugwire mwuzure isi mwimenyereze ibirimo mutwara amafi yo mu nyanja n'ibindi.
be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over everything.
Iyi ni inkingi yitwa sex and parenting.
This is a pillar called sex and parenting.
Imibonano mpuzabitsina.
Sex.
Iyo nananiwe ukuntu nzajya nyigisha mu rusengero.
This, I don't know how to teach it in church.
Ariko nimugaruka mu gice cya kabiri,
But if you come back to the second chapter,
Imana ifata igice cya mbere bari bakivuze muri rusange.
God takes the first chapter he had been mentioned in general.
Noneho kikacyagura.
Now he enlarges it.
Ubundi baratubwira ngo ire mu mugabo n'umugore ngo mu ishusho yayo niko yabaremye, umugabo n'umugore niko yabaremye.
It says he created a man and a woman in his likeness. That's how he created them in his
Ariko
image.
noneho itwereka uko yaremye umugore n'umugabo.
But now he shows how he created a man and a woman.
Ireba umugabo ari wenyine.
And so the man alone.
Ngibona atari byiza ko uyu mugabo aba wenyine.
And it wasn't good for him to be alone.
Nicyo kintu cya mbere Imana yabonye ikabona atari cyiza.
And that's the first thing God saw, and it wasn't good.
Ndavuga ngo reka muremere umufasha umukwiriye.
Say, let me create the right woman for him.
Kugira ngo amunezeze.
For her to please him.
Buriya umugore n'umugabo.
So a woman and a man.
Kimwe mu byo baremewe.
One of the things they were created for
Kunezezanya.
is to please each other.
Kunezezanya.
Please each other.
Nubona ubana n'umugabo utanezerewe.
If you live with a man and you're not happy,
kandi ukabigiramo uruhare.
and you have a part in that,
ujye umenya yuko wahushije.
know that you've missed.
Kenshi iyo twigisha,
Many times when we're teaching,
tumera nkaho abagore ari bo bababara mu rugo.
it's as if women are the only ones that are hurt in a marriage.
Ariko n'abagabo barababara.
But even men are hurt too.
Umugabo umwe yigeze kumbwira.
One man told me,
Arambwira ati pastor,
I said, Pastor,
umugore ashobora kukwica ataguteye icyuma.
a woman might kill you without stamping you.
Ati umugore wanjye,
Say, my wife,
ati ntavuga.
she doesn't speak.
Ati suko atazi kuvuga.
Not because she can't speak.
Ati yashaka kumbabaza.
If she wants to hurt me,
Araceceka.
she keeps quiet.
Nkamubwira ndeba.
I talk to her and she looks at me.
Ati yarangiza.
And after,
Takazunguza umutwe.
she nods her head
Atakimyoza.
and jeers.
Kamwira ngo ngwino umugaburire.
Say, come and I feed you.
Atubwira iryo joro nkarara ntariye.
So that night I don't sleep.
Ushobora
I don't eat.
kwica umuntu.
You can kill someone
By silence.
in silence.
Ariko ubundi
Normally,
mu rugo
in a marriage,
umugabo n'umugore
a woman and a man,
baremewe kunezezanya
they are created to please each other
kuri nivo enye.
on 4 levels.
Kunezezanya
To please each other
mu buryo bw'ibitekerezo.
in mindset.
Kandi ibyo kugira ngo bishoboke,
And for that to happen,
communication.
you communicate.
Kunezezanya
To please each other
mu buryo bw'amarangamutima.
in the way of emotions.
Niba naniwe,
If they are tired,
niba mfite stress,
if I'm stressed,
nkaba nzi ko ningera mu rugo
I know that when I reach home,
ndahabona uburuhukiro.
I'm going to find rest.
Sinsangiye amahane.
And I will not find quarrels there.
Kandi niba mfite ibintu bimbabaje,
Now, if I have things that have hurt me,
abagabo rero icyo kiratugora.
so men, that is hard for us.
Kuko iyo umugabo afite ibimubabaje,
Because a man, when he has things that are hurting him,
ashyira mu mutima,
he puts it in his heart
akaryama,
and he sleeps.
akayumva.
He
Ariko kurimo
sleeps.
gusuhuza umutima.
Why are you sighing?
Emotion, amarangamutima, niba ufite stress,
If you
uwa
have
mbere wagombye
stress, the
kubimenya
first person to know
nuwo mubana.
is someone you live with.
kuko tugomba kunezezanya
because we have to please each other emotionally.
Byose bibiri bitatu.
Those are 3.
Tugomba kunezezanya mu buryo bw'umwuka.
The third thing is that we have to please each other spiritually.
Buriya mbabarira abantu babana badahuje mu gusenga no kubaha Imana.
I pity people who live and they don't agree in their beliefs.
Kera nyine umuseribateri.
When I was still single,
umukobwa umwe yarambwiye ariko
one girl said,
atora uvuga ngo ntabwo warongora umukobwa udakijijwe.
you always say I can't marry someone who is not saved.
Ndamubwira ni n'abakijijwe bose sinabarongora.
Said even all of those who are saved, they can't marry them.
Ni kuko jewe ndi kuri speed yo hejuru.
Because I'm on a speed at a high level.
Ndimo ndasaba Imana kuzanzanira umukobwa uri kuri level yanjye.
I'm praying to God to bring a girl on my level.
Sinshaka umugore nzajya nkurura nk'ihene bajyanye ku isoko.
I don't want a woman that I will be pulling as if it's a goat taken to the market.
Ntabwo ndashaka rimwe na rimwe ko azajya nsiga nanjye nka akanyahagiza mwiruka inyuma.
At times I want her to leave me behind and I'll run after her.
Arambwira ngo ubwo ngo umukobwa udakijwe ntiyava mu mugore mwiza.
So I said, can't a girl who is not saved be a good wife too?
Ne,
I
umugore
said,
mwiza.
yes, it can happen.
Ariko utari umuhungu nkanjye.
But not for a man like me.
Kubera iki? Wanamuhaye n'ibisobanuro.
I even gave her explanation.
Ndamubwira ngiye umuhamagaro wanjye ubu namaze kuwumenya.
So now I know my calling.
Nshobora kugenda nkamara icyumweru mu ivugabutumwa.
I might spend a week preaching.
Kandi we yashakaga gusohoka.
And she wanted to go out.
Nagashaka bamusohokana.
And she looks for people to go out with.
Ibyo namubwiraga muri no minsi ndimo ndabibona cyane.
And what I was telling her, I see it in these days.
Uyu mujyi urimo ibigare by'abagore.
This city has groups of women
bisohokana.
That go out by themselves.
Ariko bakaba bafite n'abandi bagabo.
And they have other men
bakorera pass.
That they do passes for.
Bagatwara uyu mukobwa mwiza.
They take a beautiful girl.
Bati tuzasohokera uzajya uhora wicaye hari utagira gusohokana.
You always sit there, no one is going to take you out.
Bagera hari hanze.
When they reach outside there,
bakaba bashatse pass.
They look for different passes.
Agasanga hari Petero.
And they find Peter there.
Akamubwira ati rwose madam, I like you.
And say, madam, ndakushimye.
Nagukunze rwose.
I like you. Connections.
Agahero.
And they start there.
Kabura atari kubundi uko umuntu usa nawe aba mu rugo adasohoka.
Someone like you lives in a marriage and they don't go out.
Uwo mugabo wawe ntabwo ari suga.
Now your husband cannot go out.
Oh yeah, umugabo wanjye ni pastor.
My husband is a pastor.
Pastori bahobagira.
Things of pastors who are so troubled.
Fata umugore mwiza nkawe akamurunda mu rugo.
You take a beautiful woman and put her.
Erego ubwo Satani akaba yatangiye kuganira.
So Satan is already now entered.
Mu minsi mike ko bazaruze uriya mugore wa pastori yagiye.
In a few days you say the pastor's wife, where is she? Spiritually.
Kunezezanya mukagendana mu mwuka.
You are together spiritually and you please each other spiritually.
Naba nagiye ukanyizera ko ntazaguca inyuma.
If I go, you believe in me that I will not cheat on you.
Naba nagusize mu rugo nkaba nzi neza yuko ningaruka nzagusanga uko nagusize.
If I leave you at home, I know that I'll find you the way I left you.
Kubera ko mugendana munezezanya mu mwuka.
Because you please each other spiritually.
Noneho cyakane.
The fourth.
Kunezezanya physically.
Now you please each other physically.
Kandi buri abantu benshi kubera ko turi abanyamwuka cyane.
So many people, because we are so spiritual,
iyo tugeze kuri ibi by'umubiri twumva ko ni bipagani.
When we reach these things, we think they are pagan.
Ariko ni ibintu Imana yaremye ngo tubinezererwe.
But there are things God created for us to rejoice in them.
Ugomba kwiga kunezeza umugore wawe nawe akakunezeza ku buryo mu mubiri nyine mwumva muri bien.
You have to learn to please your wife and she learns to please you, that you feel satisfied physically.
Kandi ibi ngibi umuntu abivuze.
And when you say these things,
abantu bose baravuga ngo iwacu twebwe bimeze neza.
People say at our home we are okay.
I go from experience.
But from what I've experienced,
Kongo ijana.
On 100 homes,
abo bari physically banezezanya mu mubiri.
Those who are pleasing each other physically,
ni 10%.
It is like 10%.
Abandi benshi barabihisha.
Many people hide it.
Ariko gende babwira nk'umupastori.
But I'm telling you that as a pastor.
Ko arabaza ko mwere ku pastor bire bintu muvuga bibaho.
Because some come and ask, Pastor, those things you said, do they actually happen?
bibaho.
They actually happen.
Ariko uzi impamvu bitabaho?
But do you know why they don't happen?
Hari ikintu Imana yavuze aravuga ngo mwimenyereze ibiri mu isi byose mu bitegeke.
There's something God said, subdue and dominate everything that is in this earth.
Including n'uyu mubiri wanjye.
Even this body of mine.
Ngomba kumenya uko umubiri wanjye ukora.
I have to know how my body works.
Nkamenya n'uko umugore ukora.
And I know how the body of a woman works.
Kugira ngo dushobore kubihuza byombi bineze.
For us to join them and they please each other.
Ndaza kwasigira umwanya w'ibibazo reka ndeke ibyo nimushaka muze kubimbaza.
I'll leave time for that even if you ask me to.
Kuko nimbyinjiramo.
Because if I enter that,
turakererwa.
we're going to take time.
Hanyuma pila ya gatatu.
Now the third pillar.
Muri icyo gice.
In that chapter.
Murongo wa 29.
Verse 29.
Dore mbahaye kandi Imana irababwira iti murabona ko ibintu byose Imana ibikora igenda ivuga.
See, God is doing everything and he's saying.
Communication.
Dore
mbahaye ibimera byose byera imbuto biri mu isi yose n'igiti cyose gifite imbuto ziri mu tubuto twacyo bizaba ibyo kurya byanyu.
And God said, behold, I've given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you shall be meat.
Ingingo tugomba kuganiraho cyane muri communication.
The things we have to discuss so much in communication.
Umutungo w'urugo.
The finance of a marriage.
Uko nababwiraga ngo bitagenda neza muri sex.
As I told you, things were not right in sex.
Iyo bigeze ku mutungo ho ni bibi kurushaho.
Now when it goes to our finances, it is even worse.
Kubera ko twebwe twakuze imitungo ari y'abagabo.
Because we grew up when the riches were for a man.
Inka zose zari z'umugabo.
Or the cows were for a man.
Isambu yari y'umugabo.
A plot was for a man.
Ihene zari z'umugabo.
The goats were for a man.
Amafaranga yewe niyo yanazanwaga n'umugore yabaga ari y'umugabo.
Even if a woman brought money, it was for a man.
Nerutse kujya ahantu muri Amerika.
I went somewhere in the US.
Abanyafrika iyo bageze muri Amerika barakomeza kwitwara kinyafrika.
You see, when Africans reach America, they continue to conduct themselves as Africans.
Ariko ingo zashize.
But the marriage is already done.
Umugore umwe arambwira ati,
one woman said,
ndagira ngo dufashe.
I want you to help us.
Iyo ugeze muri Etazuni,
when you reach in the US,
abagore kenshi batanga abagabo kubona akazi.
Many women get jobs before men.
Kubera iki?
Why?
Hari imirimo yo kwita ku bantu b'abakecuru n'abasaza buhagira.
Because there are works of caring about elderly people.
Ntabwo ari abagabo benshi bakora bene iyo mirimo.
Many men cannot do such kinds of work.
Umugore yaragiye abonye akazi.
So a woman went and got a job.
Ariko umugabo araho n'umugabo.
But the man is there, is just a man.
Afite carte.
He has a card.
Ifite access kuri konti yabo nkazira dukoresha za ATM.
That has access to their accounts, like those ATM cards we use.
Kajya kuri ATM akarutira amafaranga.
He could go to the ATM and withdraw money.
Koherereza bene wabo.
And send to the relatives.
Kandi ntakora.
And he's not working.
Umugore ategereza ko umugabo amuha amafaranga.
The woman waits for the man to give him money.
Kandi niwe yakorera.
And she's the one working for the money.
Ndabirambiwe.
I said, I'm tired of this thing.
Wadufasha iki?
How can you help us?
Mpamagara umugabo.
I called the man.
Turica.
And we sat.
Ndamubwira noneho reka mbafashe muri communication.
Now let me help you in communication.
Wasubiramo ukavuga bya bindi wambwiye.
Would you repeat and say what you told me?
Umugore ati siko narinzi kuri bubimvugire.
The woman said, I thought you were going to say it.
Ndashaka kukwigisha kubyivugira yumva.
I want to teach you how to say it when he's listening.
Icyo ndi bukore.
So what I'm going to do?
Ntari bugukubita impari.
He's not going to beat you when
nakubwira nabi ndamucicikisha.
Even when he speaks badly, I'll silence
you. So vuga.
So speak up.
Umugore aravuga.
The woman spoke up.
Noneho kubera ko nanjye nari mbizi nkamutera umwete nivugana bya bindi.
So because I knew it, I could encourage her, speak even what you told me, speak up.
Ageze aho yumva kuko abigize assurance arabisuka.
And now she had the assurance and poured everything out.
Umugabo aramwira ngo rwose pastor.
The man said, Pastor,
ibintu urabishyigikiye.
You support these things.
Ko umugabo wari umugabo mu rugo.
A man is a man at home.
Ndamubwira ni man. Wibeshya huri.
You're mistaken of where you are.
Hano ni muri Leta Zunze Ubumwe za Amerika.
This is USA.
Abagore baho baravuga.
Women there speak up.
Abagore baho barakora.
Women there work.
Bakagira uburenganzira ku byo bakoreye.
And they have a right on what they have worked for.
Icyakora nasanze ko vraiment nta bugome bwari burimo.
Actually, there was no anybody intention.
twaricaye turaganira
We sat and discussed,
turangiza bafashe icyemezo rwose cyo kujya babyumvikanaho
and we ended up when they had decided to agree with their
ariko ikintu
finances.
cyitwa umutungo
But something called finances.
nawe wampa ikintu kibicekinga
If I got something to check that,
mwasanga 3 bya 4 bafite ikibazo muri icyo kintu cy'umutungo
you can find 3 out of 4 they have a problem with their finances,
kandi gikemurwa na communication.
and is solved by communication.
Number 1, icyambere kubanza kumenya ngo ibyo dufite byose si ibyacu ni by'Uwiteka.
You should know that everything you have is not for you, it's for the Lord.
ariko yabiduhaye kugira ngo tunezezanye
But He gave them to us for us to please each other.
ntabwo ari iby'umugabo si n'iby'umugore.
So it isn't for the husband, not even for the wife.
By the way, wari uzi ko n'umubiri w'umugabo n'uw'umugore uw'umugore n'uw'umugabo.
Do you know that a body for a man is for the wife, and also for the woman is for the husband?
Give and take.
So you give and take.
Sibyo n'ubutunzi mubishyire hamwe.
Even in riches, you
hari
join
ikintu
it.
kimbabaza kubona ibintu Imana yaduhaye ngo bitunezeze ari byo bidusenyera.
It is hurtful to see things that God made us have for us to be happy, they destroy our marriages.
kandi reka mbwira abagabo
And let me tell you, men,
ariko n'abagore musigaye mubikora.
but even women do that.
Abagabo bamwe
Some men,
ni abaswa pe.
they are really foolish.
Mbere ya genocide
Before genocide,
twari dufite mindset ivuga ngo umugore ntakamenye amafaranga yawe aho ari.
we had a mindset that said a woman cannot know where your money should not know where your money is.
ngo kuko iyo abimenye arayagusaba.
Because when she knows, she asks for that.
kandi ngo iyo abimenye ngo ayakoresha nabi.
And when she knows, she misuses it.
So abagabo benshi bahishaga amafaranga.
So many men could hide their money.
N'uno munsi barabikora.
Even today they do that.
Ndabaha ingero ebyiri zibafasha kubyumva.
I'll give you 2 examples for you to be able to
tugira
understand.
ibyago.
Now we had a problem.
Genocide iraba.
Genocide happened.
Abagabo barapfa.
Men died.
Abagore bamwe bararokoka.
And some women stayed.
Ndetse bagira n'umugisha bamwe basigarana n'abana.
Even some were blessed to stay with their
ariko kuko
children.
batari bazi aho amafaranga y'umugabo yabika n'amakonti abaho
But because they didn't know
barakena kandi umugabo yari afite umutungo.
Because they didn't know the accounts and where they kept the money, they went poor, yet they were wealthy.
Vuba aha ngaha
Recently,
umugabo ukora bene ibyo
a man who does such thing
atije imodoka.
rented a car.
Umugore akamubwira ati ariko ko ntamenya amafaranga yawe.
The wife said, I don't know about your finances.
Imodoka si noneho nayo nkaba ntazi aho iri.
Now I don't know where the car is.
Baramubwira ngo ariko ngo ujye umenya ko ndi umugabo.
The man said, no, that I'm a man.
Reka rero ibyago bizaba.
So a problem happened.
Uzi ikintu cyitwa stroke.
You know what we call stroke?
Stroke iyo igukubise rero
So when you have stroke,
iyo ihereye ku bwonko
when it starts in your mind,
n'ibyo wari uzi urabyibagirwa.
even what you knew you forget.
Stroke irakubise.
So he had a stroke.
Umugabo agiye muri koma.
The man went into a coma.
Ntari babwira aho amafaranga ari.
He wasn't going to say where the money
Ntari
is.
babwira aho imodoka iri.
Didn't know where the car is.
Byose byasibye.
So everything is gone.
Arapfa.
And he died.
Kwisha.
That is the end.
Niyo kikubwira ko atazabaho ejo.
So what tells you you're not going to be the one next?
Niba uri umugabo konti zawe zose.
If you're a man, all of your accounts.
Umugore kireka niba ari za company buriya ni different.
If they are for a company.
Ariko niba ari konti zawe yagombye kuzimenya. Niba ari na company y'urugo yagombye kuyimenya. Akamenya konti zawe zose, akamenya n'amafaranga acaho.
Your wife should know about your accounts, and if it is for the company, she should be aware of every transactions and every account that you
Kuko
have.
experience imaze kunyereka yuko turi vulnerable.
Because experience has showed me that we are vulnerable.
Stroke iragukubita ubwonko bugasiba ntunamenye ugahobagira ntunamenye n'ibintu byaho biri.
You might have a stroke and you don't know your things where they are.
Uranapfa.
You might even die.
Wararuhiye.
Now what have you worked for?
Uzi banki isigarana konti zawe ntabwo izigera yigora ijya gushakishiriza umugore.
Your bank stays with your account. They'll not go looking for your wife.
Cyane ko n'abagabo bamwe bakora mistake yo kugenda konti ntanazishyire ku izina rye akazishyira ku izina ry'abashiki be nabo ntababwire akaba umusinyateri.
So some men, they go and put the accounts on their sisters and they don't even tell them. They just become someone to sign.
Ariko uzubuswa kuba muri uyu mujyi.
But do you know the foolishness in this city?
Ibyo mbabwira byose mbifitiye.
What I tell you, I have proof for that.
kuki umugore wawe yazagombera kujya kwitabaza RIB na polisi ngo bamushakishirizeho amafaranga wayashyize?
Why does your wife to go to RIB to look where you put your money?
Hello. Ariko ndabona mwe muri beza ntabwo ibintu byo mwabikora.
But you're good, you can't do that.
Oya muri beza ntabwo ibintu byo mwabikora. So ikindi kijyanye n'icyo.
So something concerning that.
Pira najyaga nibaza impamvu Imana yashyize ibintu muri Bibiliya.
I used to ask myself why God put these things in the Bible.
Ijyanye n'ibyo by'umutungo ni ka point gakurikiye umutungo.
It is another point that comes after the finances.
Mwihangane inshigaje iminota mike nkarangiza nkabaha umwanya none tukaganira.
I'm remaining with a few minutes and I'll give you time and we discuss.
Munsi yako kantu kitwa umutungo w'urugo.
After that of riches in the wealth of your family.
Nshyiriramo akagingo kitwa umuryango mugari.
You also put in a part of the wide family.
Extended family.
The extended family.
Mana y'isi n'ijuru.
God of heaven.
Imana yaravuze ngo umugabo azasiga se na nyina abane n'umugore we akaramata.
God said you shall leave your father and mother, go to your wife and live with her
Najyaga
forever.
nibaza impamvu Imana yabishyizemo.
I used to ask myself why God put that there.
Ariko ubu narabisobanukiwe.
But now I understand it.
Umuryango mugari ntabwo wemerewe guhagarara hagati y'umugabo n'umugore.
An extended family is not supposed to stand in the midst of a woman and a husband.
Mama wawe ntabwo yemerewe guhagarara hagati yawe n'umugore cyangwa n'umugabo.
Your husband, your mother is not supposed to be in between you and your spouse.
Maze kubona ingo aho ba mama b'abagore
I've seen marriages where the mother of a woman
cyangwa ba mama b'abagabo
or the mothers of a husband,
bahindutse akazarusenya k'ingo.
they have become destroyers of marriages.
Hari abagore badacuka,
There are women who do not leave their homes,
hari n'abagabo badacuka.
and there are men who do not leave their homes.
Mama akazamuka Rusizi
The mother comes from Rusizi
akazi Kigali
and she comes to Kigali.
ati ndararana n'abana banjye.
Say, I'll sleep with my children.
Umukazana atari se mama wagiye mu cyumba cy'abashyitsi.
The daughter-in-law says, don't go to the visitors room.
Umugabo yataha ati uyu mugore wawe aransuzugura.
When the husband comes back, she says, this wife of yours despises me.
Ugahita usayidinga na mama wawe urugo rwawe rugashya.
And you side with your mother and then there goes your marriage.
Ubundi ugasayidinga na bashiki bawe urugo rugashya.
Or you side with your sisters and your marriage goes.
Ubundi akaba ari ba petit frère urugo rugashya.
Or the young brothers and there goes the marriage.
Ubundi amafaranga ukayohereza iwanyu iwabo w'umugore cyangwa iwabo w'umugabo ntihagire ikijyayo.
You send money to your own family, but your woman's family, nothing goes there.
Kuko hari n'abagore banga umuryango w'umugabo.
Because there are even women who hate the families of the husband.
Barumuna babo baza bakaba bari welcome.
When their sisters come, they are welcome.
Ariko haza barumuna b'umugabo.
But when the brothers of the husband come,
umugore agahindura isura.
the wife changes.
Akaba gica akaba kirimbuzi.
She becomes a destroyer.
Hello.
Hello.
Imana iravuga ngo
God says,
umugore n'umugabo iyo bagiye mu rugo,
when a man and a woman go to a marriage,
extended family ijya inyuma.
extended families go behind them.
Uzasiga so na nyoko bane n'umugabo cyangwa n'umugore akaramata.
You will leave your father and mother and go to live with your wife forever.
Nyambwira abantu
I tell people,
iyi mpeta
this ring,
n'akaramata.
it is for eternity.
Ni signature y'akaramata.
It's a signature of eternity.
Umugore wanjye yitwa Kayitesi Penina.
My wife is called Kaitesi Penina.
18 z'ukwa munani muri 90.
18th in August in 1990.
Yashyizemo iyi mpeta.
She put this ring on me.
Kuva uwo munsi
From that day,
njyewe rero ndi ntagondwa.
for me I'm so rebellious.
Nta nubwo njye nyivanamo.
I don't even remove it.
Niyo nkaraba.
Even when I'm bathing,
Niyo ndimo guterura ibintu.
even when I'm lifting things up,
Karamata.
it is there forever.
Hari n'igihe njya nicara nkayimeditaho.
There are times I meditate upon it.
Nkajya nyituruna gutya nk'abagatolika bavuga ishapure.
I turn it like I'm like priests do, Catholics.
Kuko hari abajya bambara amashapure.
Because there are those who wear those and they're not.
iyi mpeta ihora inyibutsa ngo hari umugore umwe mu buzima.
This ring reminds me there is only one woman.
Niwe warahiriye imbere n'Imana n'abantu yuko muzabana karamata.
She's the one you saw before God and before people that you live with her forever.
Ubyemere cyangwa we kubyemera.
Whether you accept it or not.
Mama wanjye abi wanjye.
My mother lives in my home.
Ariko biramutse bibaye ngombwa.
But if it was necessary
katumvikana n'umugore wanjye.
that she doesn't agree with my wife,
namusubiza iwacu mu cyaro.
I can take her back to the village.
Ko nta mpeta y'inambaye.
Because I don't wear her ring.
Nkemera nkatanga ibyo mfite byose.
I can give everything I have.
Kuko nta mpeta y'inambaye.
Because I don't have her ring on me.
Yarambyaye.
She brought me forth.
Aranyonsa.
She breastfed me.
Aramvunikira kuko yapfaka afite imyaka 25 dufite turi abana bane.
She worked for us because she lost her husband at the age of 25 with 4 kids.
Ibyo mfite nicyo ndicyo niwe.
Everything I have and what I am is her.
Ariko nta mpeta twambara.
But we didn't have any covenant with her.
Icyo ni ikintu ntabwo nigeze ndahirira imbere y'Imana.
I never saw it before God.
Yuko nza bana na mama karamata.
I will live with my mother eternally.
Ariko narahiriye imbere y'Imana.
But I stood before God.
Manika ukuboko.
I raised my hand.
Mu izina ry'Imana Data.
In the name of the Father,
n'Umwana,
the Son,
n'Umwuka Wera.
and the Holy
Ko
Spirit.
nzabana na Kayitesi Penina.
And I will live
Kugeza igihe tuzatandukanywa n'urupfu.
I will live with my wife till death do us apart.
Cyangwa Yesu agarutse.
Or till Jesus comes back.
Umuryango mugari ntabwo ugomba guhagarara hagati y'umugabo n'umugore.
An extended family should not come in between a husband and a wife.
Ariko wampa icyuma gipima.
But if I had something to measure,
mpamya yuko niba harimo abagabo n'abagore hano,
if there are men and women here,
nshobora sinaburamo 5
I cannot fail to get 5
batubahiriza iyo principe.
who don't respect that principle,
Nubwo ari abarokore.
even if they are Christians.
Hello.
Hello.
Iyo yitwa principe yo gusiga.
That is a principle of living.
Ariko gusiga
But living
ntibivuga kureka.
doesn't mean forsaking.
Kuko uko Bibiliya itwigisha gusiga isubira imikavuga ngo ariko umuntu niba atitaye ku muryango we.
Because as the Bible says that you should live, but it says if you don't care about your family,
Uburutwa n'umupagani.
a pagan is better than
That's
you.
a strong expression. Ngo kuko umuntu niba atita ku muryango we.
Because if a man does not care about his family,
Abarutwa n'umupagani.
pagan is better than that.
Timoteyo wa mbere ibice 5:8.
1 Timothy chapter 5 verse
Haravuga ngo
8.
ariko niba umuntu adatunga be cyane cyane abe mu rugo rwe.
But if you do not care about those, even those in your home,
aba yihakanye ibyizerwa kandi ababaye mubi hanyuma y'utizera.
they have denied the faith and they are worse than those who don't believe.
So tugomba kwita ku babyeyi bacu.
So we should care about our parents,
Tugomba kwita ku bavandimwe bacu.
care about our relatives,
Muri communication yacu.
in our communication.
Ya yindi nababwiye.
One I mentioned.
Twebwe buri kwezi
For us, every month,
twagennye budget
we have allocated a budget
ijya ku ruhande.
that goes aside.
Umugore wanjye ashobora gufasha abantu bose ashaka.
My wife can help everyone she wants.
Kuko twebwe gihe nshinzwe budget,
Because I'm responsible for the budget.
washinzwe dépense.
For her, she's responsible for spending.
Icyo nshinzwe no kureba ko amafaranga ari.
What I'm responsible for is for me to know that money is there.
Icyo ashinzwe no kureba ko amafaranga aba dépense.
So she's responsible of spending the money.
Ariko kugira ngo amafaranga yanyu atazangirika.
But for your money not to be wasted.
Ko hari abantu ngo abagore ariko ngo bakoresha amafaranga nabi.
Say women waste money.
Ntabwo abagore bakoresha amafaranga nabi.
Women do not waste money.
Ahubwo batekereza bitandukanye n'abagabo.
But they think different from men.
Iyo umugore abonye akantu keza,
When a woman sees something good,
nureba nk'aka gashati nambaye.
don't you see this shirt?
Nubona nambaye ishati nziza ujye umenya aho yavuye.
If you see me wearing a nice shirt, know where it came from.
Madamu ashobora kugenda akareba akabona agashati.
And my wife might go and see a shirt
Akavuga ati aka gashati kabera umugabo wanjye. wanjye.
So this shirt can look good on my husband.
Kandi garderobe yanjye yuzuye amashati.
And my wardrobe is full of shirts.
Kubera ko made in Rwanda igenda ihindura amasura n'utundi tuntu.
Because made in Rwanda changes images and different things.
Nshatse nakora iduka ryayo ngagurisha ayo mfite.
If I want, I can make a shop and sell what I have.
Kuko juru kubona agashati keza kavuga agashati kamubira to.
Because they might see a nice shirt and they say this shirt can look good on me.
Nataga muri bosheri.
When I go home, he says, sweetheart,
Ngo nkwereke.
should I show you?
Nkamenya ubwo ko ari ikintu.
I know there's something she bought.
Sinjya ntera amahoro.
I don't quarrel.
Agashati nkagakubitamo.
I put on the shirt.
Nasanga kankwira.
If it fits me,
Nkamutera kabizu kwitama.
I peck her.
Aisha kutagira umugore nkawe no guhomba rwose.
Say not having a woman like you is such a loss.
Ariko nashobora kumbwira zi bwishati baguzi iki ko mfite amashati arenze.
But I might ask, why did you buy this shirt? I have more than 1,000 of
Ose
them.
kuki ngiye kwibabariza umugore.
Why should I hurt my wife?
Ariko zi kugira ngo ibyo ngibyo bitabaho.
But for you that not to happen,
Yewe rero ubwonko bwanjye bukora mu bwa Yuda.
so my mind likes that for that one of Judah.
Basutse amavuta ku birenge bya Yesu.
They poured anointing on the feet of Jesus
Ayakora matematike.
and he calculated
Ati aya mavuta
this oil
twashoboraga kuyagurisha.
would have sold it
Tugakuramo idenari yo 300.
and would take 300 coins from it.
Azigenera n'umushinga.
And he even gave a project to it.
Yewe rero nshobora kureba ibintu nkabona ibi kugira ngo bitazanteranya n'umugore.
So because I don't want to quarrel with my wife,
Genzi guplaninga
I
kugeza
know
no
how to plan to the end.
nuko Imana yangize pastor yindeka nkaba umucuruzi.
God made me pastor if he let me be a business person.
Kandi sinzajya muri business nyuma nubwo ngiye mu cyabukuru ntabwo nzajya kuvunika mu.
But even if I'm going to retire, I'm not going to go for business. No.
Ariko reka mbigisha ikintu muzakora.
But let me teach you what you're supposed to do.
Uzicara umugabo n'umugore.
Seat husband and wife.
Mumenye amafaranga mugomba kudepansa.
Know the kind of money you have to spend.
Mugene reserve account.
And have a reserve account.
Ntiwacu kubera ko twembi turakora.
Because if at our home we are both working.
Na murongo yakora nanjye nkora.
I married her working and I was also working.
Ariko nkiri umusore.
And when I was a young man,
nibwo Imana yanyigishije ubwenge bw'amafaranga.
that's when God taught me about money finances.
Kuko nabaga mu nzu burya abantu ba landlord bashobora kugirira umumaro.
You see, landlords can be important to you.
Na mfite landlord
I had a landlord.
yazaga kuri 25.
She could come on 25th.
Kwidirisha mu gitondo ntarabyuka.
On the window before I woke up.
Rutayisire.
He could call me.
Nje kukwibutsa ko ejo bundi ukwezi kuzapfa
I want to remind you that the month is ending. I want my money.
Uyu mugabo ko ntaramwambura.
So this man have never taken his money.
Twabaga batatu turi abasore.
We were 3 living in that house.
Kuko abandi banywaga inzoga agiye ndi umurokore.
So because others were drunks and I was a Christian.
Nijye wacungaga amafaranga.
So I was the one having money.
Bintera umwete ndavuga numva rero Mana.
And I told God.
Nari nkiri umukatolika.
I was still a Catholic.
Ariko nkijijwe.
But I was saved.
Ngira Imana numva rero Mana.
I told God.
Nasomye Bibiliya.
I read the Bible.
Imbwira yuko ukubahishije ubutunzi bwe bwose.
Says the one who honors you with his riches.
Umugomororera imigomero y'ijuru.
You open windows of heaven.
Ngiye kujya nkubahisha ubutunzi bwe.
I'm going to honor you with my possession.
Ariko sinshaka umuntu uzankomangira kwidirisha
But
njyamanye n'umugore.
I don't want someone to knock on my window when I'm sleeping with my wife.
Mpita nkora matematike.
And I did math.
Abantu umuntu ashatse kugura inzu i Kigali. Ubwo nigishaga hano turi Rulindo hirya.
I was teaching in a place called Rulindo if I wanted to buy a house.
Ndazambwira muramu wanjye yabaga hano i Kigali.
I told my brother-in-law he was living in Kigali.
Umuntu ashaka kugura inzu hano i Kigali.
If someone wanted to buy a house in Kigali.
Biterwa n'inzu waba ushaka kugura.
Depends on the house you want to buy.
Dufite nk'ibihumbi 300.
If you had like 300.
Tiwagura ya nzu ikoze gutya.
You can buy a house
ifite saro hano hagati.
That has a sitting room inside.
N'icyumba hano.
And then a room here.
N'icyumba hano.
Another one there.
N'umuryango ujya mu gikari.
And the door that goes outside. That is
Murazizi.
one side. Do you know it? And I felt that was small.
Ati none reka muhereye.
So let me tell you.
Ati ufite nk'ibihumbi 700.
If you had 700,000.
Nakubonera inzu y'ibyumba 3.
I can have a good house for 3
Ufite na
houses with a saloon.
Na toilette yo mu nzu.
With a toilet in the house.
Na magazi.
And the stock.
Ariko mwibukirwe ni muri 80 na.
But remember that is around 80s.
Icyo gihe idolari ryavunjaga 50.
Then $1 was 50 Rwandan francs.
ndabona ariko nteka tubigerageze.
And I said, let's try that.
Ndagenda ndabibara ndavuga nti amafaranga mpembwa.
Now the money I received,
niziritse umukanda nkawukaza.
if I was so disciplined,
buri kwezi nkabika ibihumbi 10.
and every month I keep 10,000.
Umwaka nawe mfite ibihumbi nka 400 na.
In 1 year, I would have like 400 something.
Ndatangira ndabibara.
And I started calculating.
Umwaka mfite ibihumbi 120, mu myaka 4 nzaba mfite 480.
In 4 years I'm going to have 400 something.
Ku myaka 30 nzaba mfite nk'ibihumbi 600.
At the age of 30 years I'm going to have like 600 something.
Ibyo byita long term thinking, gutekereza kuri.
That is long term thinking.
Ariko hari ikintu kimwe nabonye.
But there's something I saw.
Iyo ufite intego,
when you have a purpose,
yihutisha amafaranga.
It brings money closer.
Icyo nenda kubabwira.
So what I want to tell you,
icyo gihe nabaje principe yo kujya mbika 40% by'amafaranga mpembwa.
I took a principle of saving 40% of the amount I was earning.
Narongoye mfite inzu hano i Kigali.
I married when I had a house in
Ndi
Kigali.
umwarimu.
And I was just a teacher.
Cyo nkundira umugore wanjye rero.
So what I love about my wife,
tumaze kuzura.
after building it,
nayiguze ituzuye neza.
I bought it wasn't full.
Abonye akazi.
When she got a job,
hamwe tariko sheri ko
said,
tugiye
sweetheart,
ko nundi twenda kwimariya.
we're about to get married.
Wareka ngajya mpemberwa kuri konti yawe.
Let me be paid on your account.
Cisha amafaranga kuri konti.
And she could be paid on my account.
Kuzuza inzu yacu.
And we filled our house.
Tuyijyamo.
And we went into it.
Kwera uwo munsi.
From that day,
bihinduka umuco.
became a culture.
40%.
40%.
Ko imishahara yacu igenda izamuka.
The more our salaries go up,
40%.
40%.
Ari ukugura imodoka, ari
If
ukugura
he's buying a car,
cyo dushatse gukora cyose turagikora kuko tuzi gusevinga.
what we want to do, we do it because we know how to save.
Kandi umugisha wabyo,
And our blessing out of it,
konte kura yacu, mbese konte dukoresha.
our current account,
ntabwo ijya intera inkeke ngo mbe natungana n'umugore kuko nzi ngo dufite andi mafaranga binabaye ngombwa.
it doesn't scare me. I don't have to fight with my wife because I know if necessary.
Uwo ni umurimo w'abagabo.
So that is the mouth of men.
Ariko umugore niba kurusha imibare,
But if your wife is more with math than you,
uzabyemera mu bikore.
accept it and you do it.
Ariko finance ntimugomba kuzipfa.
But you shouldn't fight over your finances.
Hello.
Alone.
Murumva bisobanutse?
Is that clear?
Reka ndangiza akangaka.
Now let me end with this.
Hari ibintu byinshi rego umuntu yababwira kuri ibintu byo kubaka urugo, rega ni byinshi.
There are so many things we can tell you about marriage. There are many things.
Reka nangirize kuri iki kintu cy'urukundo mu bihe bihinduka.
Let me end with this thing of love in times that change.
Urukundo mu bihe bihinduka.
Love in changing times.
Ibintu bibiri bihinduka.
Things that change.
Ibihe byo mu rugo birahinduka.
The season at home can change.
Madawu umaze imyaka ngayo urongo 3. Okay, umaze kubyara abantu bangahe? Umwe. Okay. Ejo bundi uzoshyiraho wa kabiri. Ubongera ushyireho n'undi. Sivyo? Ko ndakureba nkabona uzabyara 3 cyangwa 4. Unabigusomagamo abo muri new generation bose bashaka kubyara 3.
People of this generation, they only want to have 3.
So icyo nendaga kubabwira ni iki?
So what I wanted to tell you is this.
Muri icyo gihe uyu mudamu azababyara.
So that time when the woman is going to be having kids,
n'abandi barimo hano bazababyara.
and others who are going to be here and they will be having
Hari
kids.
byinshi biba birimo guhinduka.
There are many things that are changing.
Urugo nta bana bari barimo.
So the marriage didn't have kids.
Iyo abana bajemo,
So when kids come in,
biriya bintu byose twabonye,
those things that we saw,
ugomba kubikura inshuro y'abana.
you have to multiply it by the number of children.
Niba mwagiraga communication nkeya,
If we were communication little,
umwana umwe navuka,
when a child is born,
ujye kuba 2.
I'll multiply by 2.
Niba baba 2,
If they become 2,
kube 3.
multiply by 3.
Niba baba 3,
If they become
ukube
3,
4.
multiply by 4.
Kuko buri mwana wese uje azashyira constraint kuri finance zanyu no ku gihe cyanyu n'ibindi byose.
So every child that comes will come with the constraints on every part of your marriage.
Uko umugore atwite,
As a woman is pregnant,
ntabwo asa n'udatwite.
they don't look like the one who is not pregnant.
Urabona ko uyu mugore ari inzobe.
So don't you see she's brown?
Buriya nshobora kumubona yatwite.
Now I might see her when she's pregnant.
Ukagira ngo nta karabo.
It's as if she doesn't bathe.
Usanga hano kwiruzi yazanye ibintu by'umukara.
You find things that are so black.
Waba uri umugabo utari informed.
If you're a man and you're not
Ariko
informed,
se kutakiyitaho.
so you no longer care about yourself.
kurasuti
How do you look?
ariko ni kubera ziriya ndo
Because of the pregnancy.
wenda wabonaga ari agakobwa keza gafite n'amabere matoya
Maybe you saw her with small breasts and everything,
hanyuma ukagira buryo ukabona yabaye nk'ikibaluni
and now it's like a balloon.
ariko usigaye ungana uti
Now how are you looking?
kuri vure mugasigaye imeze nk'igishushanyo cya Michelin.
You're like a Michelin star.
ariko n'abana bawe bamukweguye
But they are your children that stretched her.
bya bikoma yanda yatenderaga bo
Those porridge, that porridge and the
erega
stomach.
ntibisubirayo
So they don't go back.
umwana yonka amabere agahita areba hasi
A child breastfeeds and the breasts cannot stand firm as they used to.
niba mu mutwe wawe utaravuye muri ya imaje y'umugore w'inkumi
So if you haven't left the image of a young woman,
nyuma y'imyaka 15 uwo mugore uzajya umuribone mutagikwiranye
after 15 years you see the woman and you not feel like they are the right person for you,
kuko ntabwo wakuranye n'urugo rwawe
because you did not grow with your marriage.
iyo ugeze muri no myaka yacu rero twebwe turi muri za 65
So when you reach our age, as we are in 60 something years,
haza agasimba kitwa roturudaje
a pest called RUTAYISIRE comes.
ariko kubera ko mbona nta wungana nanjye uri hano reka nikwivugaho
But because no one is here and they are not the same age, let me not talk
ariko
about
buri muntu
it.
wese yagombye kwiga kumenya faze z'aho urugo rwe rugeze.
But everyone should know the phase of where their marriage is.
utwana dutoya nta kibazo
Young children is okay
ku bagore ariko
to women,
ariko ku bagabo
but to men,
tangira kwiyumvira radiyo kana kakaba karaje
you start listening to a radio, a kid comes in.
wiyambariye ishati yawe nziza y'igitare kakaza kigaraguye ngo nugaterure
You wear a nice shirt and they come dirty and they want to be
usanga
lifted
umugabo
up.
ariko uyu aba bana bawe
So your children,
ntukajye ku rusengero mufite abana bato
don't go to church now when you have young kids.
umugabo akicara mu modoka atangira kuvuza amahoni
And the man sits in the car and they start honking.
ariko kurimo kunyerereza
You're delaying me,
ariko ndacyambika abana
but I'm still closing children.
wagiye ukamufasha mukawambikana mugasohoka niba ushaka
Why don't you help her to close them and you move out together?
kumenya faze urugo rugezemo
Know the phase that your marriage is on.
ibihe bihinduka
At times change.
reka nongereho ikindi kimwe
Let me add one thing.
ibihe bihinduka
The times that change.
twebwe dukura
For us, when we grew up,
abenshi twakuriye mu cyaro
many of us grew up in villages.
ba papa na ba mama bari aho ngaho
Our fathers and mothers were just there.
none tuba mu mujyi
Now we live in town.
mu bihe bihinduka
In times that change.
sibyo hanyuma haza na telefone
Now phones came in.
haza na televiziyo
Now TVs came in.
kuvugana bigahinduka ibindi
So talking to each other becomes a problem.
ibihe bihinduka
Times that change.
so kubaka edeni
So building paradise,
ni ibintu tugomba gutekerezaho
it is something we have to think about.
tukabikora tubigambiriye
We do it intentional.
exactly n'iryo jambo nashakaga intentionality
We have to be intentional.
ukabikora ubigambiriye
You be intentional with your
ntabwo urugo
marriage.
rwiyubaka rurubakwa
A marriage is not building itself, it is built.
ubiwakiye kuri biriya byose nababwiye
So if you build on those things that I mentioned,
ibindi ndaza kubibabwira nimumbaza ibibazo reka
the rest
ngarukize
I'll tell